Oh, we went straight live.
Oh,
Hi, Patreons. If you're patrons, I always say that wrong. If you're watchers on Patreon, welcome to the show. Thank you for your continued and valued
valued.
support. Not valid. I don't know if I'm doing this, kids. Hi, Amelia. How are you? Just get this.
Sit right here.
I think this is good. Is the sound good, anybody, please? The Arthur's in the house. Oh, Ash is here. What up?
Hey.
Vegeta Richie, Jake Summers. Oh, I'm no good with this Joby. I don't know what I'm doing.
That Joby is hard work.
You're hard work.
Oh,
Don't turn me down. No, don't turn me down.
I'll never turn you
You
down.
keep this for a minute. I need to get a shake. We're sponsored. No, we're not sponsored. We're affiliated with Vivo Life now, among other protein companies. So we're affiliated with Body Me is my favourite one, I think, because it's organic. There's no additives. Obviously, with processed food, you can have additives. You can have good stuff taken out. Obviously, it's got good stuff taken out, but it's high protein, which some bodybuilders and strength athletes need a little bit more for optimal gains. So yeah, so Body Me is my sort of favourite one. We're also affiliated with Bulk Powders, which is sort of middle of the road, sort of cheap and cheerful. They've got a good range of different products. They do a lot of vegan things. And they do ones with no real additives, but they're not organic like the Body Me, but then they're a little cheaper. But now we're also down with Vivo Life. They kindly sent me three different things. So we've got their salted maca caramel raw plant protein with branched chain amino acids. Did I see that Amy's just pitched up? Hi Amy Robertson, how are you, bestie? Good to have you back. So, you know, there's a little stevia in here which can potentially is mutagenic. It can harm our DNA supposedly in high enough doses. So I don't have this a lot. I prefer the Body Me, but and people moan that this is pretty expensive, but it's got so many superfoods in here, and their marketing is, well, if you bought all those superfoods separately, you'd be paying a hell of a lot more. So depends on what you want out of your supplements.
If you want one that tastes good, then the plain ones just, you know, most people don't like them, do they?
It is damn tasty. It is damn tasty, yeah. So, you know, what do you want? I'm having one a day as a little treat. Help me get my last protein shake down. What else did they give me? So we've got the Sustain plant-based BCAAs and coconut water. And we've got the raw green superfood for him. So I've not tried these out yet, but and typically I don't really bother. Like the only supplements I really have is a protein shake or two of a day. And then obviously loads of whole foods. And obviously a couple of vitamins that you need to supplement. But, you know, I'm going a bit mad at the minute. I finished my cut a week ago. I've got 6 to 8 weeks, well, 5 to 7 weeks now to do a lean bulk. I've had a week of bulk and I'm sore as hell. My whole body is in pieces because I'm so inspired to do a good job of it. Doing my first bodybuilding show, representing for the animals plant-based days. And as a consequence, I'm as sore as anything. But so I'm thinking I'll just throw all the nutrients in I can, all the extra stuff. We even had some glutamine left over because we were doing a gut healing protocol for leaky gut, just in case we had that going on. And we got it left over. Why not? I mean, the BCAAs, typically I don't bother, but maybe, you know, you probably get it all from your Whole Foods. But if there is to be a benefit, why not just, it was free anyway, so why not just really bung it in there? Anyway, that's our news. What's everyone saying? Welcome to the stream, everyone.
No.
Oh,
We've got even more.
we've got even more news first. No, you say.
We're moving house tomorrow.
We're moving house tomorrow.
Look, there's nothing. We've been packing.
There's nothing here.
Well, there's some stuff in here, but not much.
Not a lot. The cupboards are bare. We've bought a mansion with YouTube money. That's what we're saying. What has it got?
Choke on milk.
About a dozen odd bedrooms, isn't it?
Yeah, about 12. Depends. 1 or 2 rooms maybe don't count as a bedroom. Oh, it's hard to know.
Depends how you count them.
It's really big. It's
What constitutes a bedroom? Do you just put a bed in there and it's a bedroom?
I don't know. We've got some friends that already live in there, and they rent some of the other rooms out. And,
I'm going to say that they're my servants.
I don't think they'll like that very much.
Comment down below. Should I refer to them as my servants and keep up the premise that it's a YouTube mansion bought with YouTube money? Doesn't feel very vegan.
Don't encourage him.
Right, who's saying what? Who's about? Welcome to the stream if you just joined us. Please hit that thumbs up. It helps us no end. And
So,
you will definitely be guaranteed entry to heaven or wherever you think you might go after this. Go on the merry-go-round.
so next week we'll be streaming from somewhere new. We're getting our own internet installed in the house on Thursday. So
What is it? Mega ultra fast?
it's Sky. It's not the fastest. It's the
Ah.
one down. There's like 4, and it's
Ah,
they
wow.
don't do that whatever it's called in that area. So, but it should be good. So keep everything crossed for
Can
us.
I just say the stream's working very well. We got chucked off last time halfway through. Sorry about
Several
that, folks.
times.
If you were on here, seems to be tied in with the comments, but it's all going right now. If you weren't here last week, how are you enjoying the new high def stream? We've got an iPhone 8 now instead of an old 6 or a 5. We had a 5 where the picture was really sort of staccato, and then we had a 6 where there was no sound. So
Yeah.
hopefully you've got both.
Woo.
And we've got lights. We're going to have a
We're living the
studio.
dream.
We're having a YouTube studio in the new house.
No, peasants. No, don't encourage him.
What did they say?
Peasants.
Yeah, peasants.
No.
Give us money, peasants. Hang on, no, we've got loads of money, I mean.
Make your mind up.
Making your mind up.
Mila says she's not tuned in for a while. She always does a big shop on a Friday night, but we have bought a new car, so no shopping.
Oh,
But we
nice.
have bought a new... Oh.
Congratulations on your car and welcome to the stream. Good to have you back, Amelia.
Just...
My shirt looks really bright green. I can't remember it ever looking this good before. High def shirt.
Jess wants to know, she hasn't tried Vivo, is it good?
Hmm.
The smell
Yeah.
of it really smells like this.
Yeah. Don't buy it yet though. I'll put a link in the description of my next video, and if you get it with my affiliate link, you get to give me some money. Give me your money. You don't get any money off, but you some of the money that would have gone to them goes here, so you'll be supporting a worthy charity. Me. I need money to pay for my YouTube mansion
Pay for your servants.
and my servants.
Okay, I don't think you should keep saying that because it's not very vegan.
No. The help.
It doesn't make it any better. Amy's happy to see the chat is working. Oh, sadly, Vivo Life burns my tongue for some reason.
Oh,
That's not good.
that's not ideal.
Oh. Are you allergic to one of the ingredients, maybe?
Sounds like it, didn't it?
I'm allergic to a couple of fruits and it makes my tongue burn. I don't know. Jack,
This is some tasty stuff.
Jack loves Vivo. Best tasting vegan one.
Yeah, very possibly.
No, this t-shirt is not part of our merch, so I shouldn't have really worn it. I've just packed everything else away. So
Oh, you silly woman.
I think you can get it on like Amazon or something. You put super vegan. Yeah. Scott Girl says hi.
Hi, Scott girl. Welcome.
YouTube acres.
Yeah.
Oh no, two people saying peasants. No.
It's not my fault if I just go along with the peer pressure.
Ash likes the kitchen in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Oh, we haven't got a lot of comments.
Why have we got a lot of comments?
We've done it.
Have we lost connection or something?
No.
Give us some comments, you filthy commoners. I didn't mean it. Please don't go.
No.
I'm like that guy on the Tourette's show.
Don't keep saying it.
What was that thing that they were saying? The Undateables was the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said like F off and go.
F off home.
And then he said, oh no.
Please don't.
I wish you wouldn't.
That was really cute, wasn't it?
I really liked that show. That really
Yeah.
made me smile. Ronnie Hatcher says glowing faces with HD. We're both glowing.
Ah, yeah. And the light's up too much. We can turn the lights down a bit. I don't know if I had to. I think the thumbnails we were doing, was it yesterday? I think I had the lights up too bright. They were too close and too bright.
Okay.
Should have turned them down a bit.
Lucy or Holford.
Yep.
5'4", roughly 9 stone 10 pounds, eating 1,200 1,300 a day, sedentary lifestyle, still not losing any weight. Any advice? Much love.
Have you been really on? I mean, that, to me, that is like insanely low, like starvation calories. So, you know, and if you've been doing that for a while, your body's really going to revolt against you. So, and I'm guessing you're probably, are you sedentary because you're on such low calories, or are you forced to be sedentary through like being unwell or something? You know, or say if you're sedentary, you know, because of those calories, like, you know, you need to, it's not a nice thing to hear, but you need to win back the trust of your body. So you need to eat at least maintenance calories. And I mean, your body weight will go up a little bit initially, which will just be water and glycogen. But maybe you're lacking nutrients, which you need to function properly. You know, your body doesn't want to be, you know, your body doesn't want to look fabulous. It just wants to survive. And so it will be thinking there's a real, you know, lack of food available. So your thyroid slows down.
Yeah, if your thyroid slows down, then you can't lose weight no matter how low your calories go. So you might need to rev your thyroid back up again. Yeah, like you're saying, by eating maintenance calories. Yeah.
But obviously, like when we're overweight, that doesn't feel nice to us. So we want to, you know, and all you can do is keep trimming back, or trying to up your output. But that's not easy when you're on, like, and you know, we end up in a really bad place.
If you're 5'4", 9 stone 10, maybe that doesn't sound like you have much to lose, does it? It sounds like quite a small weight. So, are you already quite slim? So you haven't got much to want to lose, and that's when it gets tricky as well, isn't it? When you've got those last few pounds like that.
Do you know what your percentage of body fat is roughly? Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing.
When you get to the end of your diet, you have to trim your calories back, and then sometimes it just gets stuck and you don't lose any weight, do you?
Yeah, the second from last cut I did, I just couldn't get out of bed one day. Like I had a day off, and my body said, "Nah, I'm just staying here," and I knew it was time to finish the cut. But then I didn't get so fat this time, and then I had a much easier time of it doing this cut, which I've just finished a week ago. Lean bulk now for a little time, and then I'm going to do a real easy cut towards my first show.
Yeah, tell us more things.
Yeah, tell us more stuff. Who was that? Who said that?
Lucy.
Lucy, give us more give us more details.
Amy says, have you seen the game changes yet?
No, the trailer's obviously out, isn't it? Yeah, I've not really heard anything, not from any of my friends, but obviously it's doing the rounds. There's a site called What's Up Doc, which is like a documentary critique site, and I mean it seems a bit early to me to be able to say this, but they've got the 100 best documentaries that they're expecting of this year. I don't know how they quantify that. I think they're looking at obviously for Game Changers, you've got Louis Sahoyas, who directed the Cove and Racing Extinction, Oscar-winning director. You've got James Cameron executively producing it. Just $3 million dollars they spent on it 2 years back when I was sort of had any involvement in it, and yeah, I don't know, because most of these documentaries aren't out yet, but they're calling it #1, like the documentary of 2018 to watch. Wow. So that's exciting.
Can you do some questions while I eat my fruit?
Okay. Oh, I meant to have a couple of painkillers. Damn it.
I've got water over there if you want it.
Yeah, I will in a minute.
Okay.
Bob Vise, I would love to know the story behind the yoink. We watched The Simpsons one day and they just say yoink. Do they? Is it The Simpsons?
I think so. I feel like I've always said it, so I can't remember now.
Yoink. I feel like it's something that Nelson Munns would say.
some sort of cartoon. It's the main things to watch, really, isn't it?
I think it's Simpsons. Comment below if anyone knows better. Brent Kayanen, dug past Phoenix today. Hope that I bumped into you guys. Come in and say hello. You'll get a warm welcome, my friend.
I'm not usually there, but this one is.
Yeah, I basically live there, but not for the next 4 days because I'm moving house. Someone told me I should go on Undateables because I'm vegan. Amelia, I like Richard from the Undateables. He's fantastic. Or Lord Richard. Alicia's in the house. I mean, Alicia. Where's Alicia? How are you doing, lovely? You keeping well? Miss Minilin. Do you have any tips on how to get enough protein when I'm allergic to beans and soy and trying to build muscle? Are you sure you're allergic to beans? I guess you can get allergic to anything. Oftentimes, allergies are a function of not eating enough whole plant foods for a time. Then we don't have enough fibre and resistant starch for the good bacteria in our gut to break down into short-chain fatty acids, one of which is called butyrate, which is what feeds the colonic mucosal wall cells. Like, they're not fed by the bloodstream, they actually eat these short-chain fatty acids, and that gives them the energy they need to knit tightly together, which stops you getting undigested proteins into your bloodstream, which then sets up allergies and immune diseases. So that could be a thing. I don't know if maybe by like healing that, like maybe that wouldn't be a problem.
When I first started eating legumes, it gave me really bad farts and
you went
stomach
there.
problems. I went there, I said it, and I just thought, I can't eat these. This is really upsetting my stomach. I just scaled it right back, introduced them really slowly, and then I was fine. Obviously, if you've got anaphylactic or symptoms or whatever, I'm not suggesting you should eat them then, but just if you say then you're allergic, do you mean like intolerant, like they're affecting you?
Is it is it an actual allergy, or is it, have you been diagnosed with that, or is it that you're not used to eating them? Because when we add in more whole plant foods, particularly things like legumes, if we've not got enough of the Prevotella bacteria strain to deal with all the soluble fibre and the resistant starch, particularly legumes for resistant starch, we then get, bloating and diarrhea and pains and crap. But actually, over time, as we feed those bacteria and they, become the main, your enterotype becomes Prevotella dominant, then we can process all the stuff. So is it that? But you can get protein is in a lot of different foods. We probably don't need half as much protein as we think we do, thanks to propaganda from the meat, dairy, supplements industries. But yeah, whole plant foods, whole grains, particularly quinoa. Like that's 14 grams of protein per 100 grams dry weight. And then, you can get protein supplements made from loads of different things now. Obviously, nuts and seeds have got protein. You probably don't want a lot of fat, though, in your diet. No more than about 15% probably for optimal health, with a plethora of carbohydrates in your diet. But, you can get isolated protein from different seeds and nuts. I think there's a potato protein out now, or it's coming out soon.
Wow.
It's meant to be better amino acid profile than beef. So, yeah, I'm sure there are ways. Steve Atkinson, hi, Gemma and Paul was in your area today, St Andrews BT Exchange. So, yeah, I know St Andrews, Will. Do you know about a BT Exchange, do you? But anyway, that is a stone's throw from my gym. That's like literally probably a minute's walk, 2 minutes walk. Anna Vanderberg, do you of course say that? Welcome, Hun. Nice to see you again. Bob Vise, what food is good for the thyroid? So basically, it's the same answer to every everything system in the body. It's the whole plant foods in general. Particularly like you don't want to be lacking iodine because thyroid hormones are made from iodine. T3 is 3 iodine molecules glued together. T4, the storage hormone, is 4. Basically sort of glued together.
You want to be consistent
Selenium.
with iodine though,
Yeah.
so you don't want to have a load one day and then not anymore for a few days. I like to have the same amount every day because if not, you might get fluctuations in your thyroid, you know, production
hormonal
levels.
output. Selenium is particularly important, so obviously like your Brazil nut and.
I have 1 or 2 Brazil nuts every day just to make sure I've covered.
You don't want more than about 3 Brazil nuts. It's easy to OD on selenium from Brazil nuts. What else is important? Selenium, iodine.
Don't eat lots of raw goitrogenic foods,
Ah,
but
yeah,
you'd
yeah.
have to eat a lot. Like you'd have to just be eating raw kale all day, or like a lot of it, for it to have the effect of lowering your, your production. So I'm sure unless you were like if you were a raw foodist and you wanted to eat loads of kale, I would be cautious. But don't worry if you're just having like cooked like broccoli and cauliflower, or even a bit raw. Like don't worry about that. Like that's fine.
And when thyroid goes wrong, oftentimes adrenals and sex hormone output goes wrong, doesn't it? To try and like pick up the slack, and your adrenals get burned out, and etc. And then so if you're not having any like crucifers, like they're particularly great at taking out excess estrogen. So for people to totally avoid those with a thyroid issue, like that's not the best way to go either.
So support your adrenals as well. It's good. So licorice root is really, you can have it as a tea or capsule. It's really good. I found that really helpful for me actually, and getting enough sleep and avoiding stress so your adrenals can recover and support your thyroid. I've got a book called Thyroid Healing, Medical Medium Thyroid Healing. If you're interested in it, it's really good. He suggests different foods to eat.
Artichokes.
Yeah, he says artichokes is the best food to support your thyroid. So I've started incorporating those.
He could be mental. He's either mental or voices from beyond are telling him stuff that we don't know yet about nutrition. Or what was the other thing I was thinking? And either that's right, or either voices from beyond are telling him about nutrition, but they're lying to him. Who knows? But the good thing is, all he's advising is whole plant feed, so like, can't hurt, can it?
He says to start the day with a fresh celery juice.
When it said medical medium, I thought he was an average-sized person who was into nutrition, but it turns out he's more like a spiritual monkey. So he claims. I don't know, do I?
He says thyroid disease is caused by Epstein-Barr virus, and so it's important to get rid of the virus as opposed to just thinking you've got to heal the thyroid. So if you're interested in learning about that, the book's interesting, but whole plant foods is the main take-home message, really.
All right, Nathan is his birthday. Everyone wish Nathan a happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Woo! Having a vegan pizza. Nice. Is it a One Planet? No, it's a pizza. Lucy, hello, thanks for answering. I'm sedentary due to not enjoying exercise. I hate the gym or I say some days I'm walking around and then some days I stay indoors. All days I have no friends. Oh, we'll be your friends.
Yeah, you've got friends here now.
Yes,
sure.
So, you know, we need to be doing something for our heart and lungs, for our muscle and bone density and strength. Try to find an activity that you do enjoy. Like, not all exercise has to be done in the gym. And for me, like, I find cardio like tedious, but you know, if I go for like a power walk, I go out in the country, like countryside, get some greens and blues from nature, the fractal patterns, which lower our stress hormone, make us feel better.
I like cycling, so I haven't got a car anymore, and I cycle everywhere. So that's what I like doing.
Get on a podcast, get on an audio book, just take your mind out that your fact that you're moving your body and try to learn something, like. Yeah. Or listen to music, or find a sport. You know, I used to love the old martial arts, what I still do. We need to do something, and then, you know, when we've got our nutrition in order, when we're exercising, that helps our mental health, and we find we enjoy life more, and then like maybe we enjoy things better. Maybe you're lacking some nutrients, which are making you like just not drawn to sort of moving. Yeah. I would invite you to get on Chronometer, plug in your day's food, see what nutrients you're getting and not. That would be a good starting point. Chronometer. Boom. But yeah, so it's not just calories in, it's also like energy output. So, you know, if you can start moving your body a bit. I hated exercise. I was the last person to be any good at all of this. I was a real like weed at school, but I just got fed up with that, and then I went bonkers. But what I noticed is like if you get yourself a bit of a routine, last week you could do 4 press-ups, this week you could do 5, and you think, oh, like I'm 25% stronger this week, and for me, I found it made me fall in love with it. And the weird thing is, I noticed that people who take to exercise easily, like they tend to give up, like they tend to fall off. But people who find it harder, but they put in the work and they start to get results, they seem to be the ones who stick at it more, which was certainly true in my case. Try and get yourself a coach if you can. That might help. Brent is saying, have you heard of Gerson therapy? Why, yes, I have. I've heard of 2 people, one in Norwich, one in Oxford. The lady in Norwich reversed type 4 lymph node cancer. Type 4. And lymph node, one of the sort of worst ones of the lot. So that's pretty good, isn't it? Of course, the NHS, the American Medical Association, they'll tell you, you know, Gerson is a quack and like it doesn't work. They will tell you half the people that come to stay with them at their sort of hospitals in Mexico, for instance, they're not allowed to have them in America. But in Mexico, they say half the people walk out cancer-free. You know, I don't know because I've not got direct experience, but like I say, I know a couple of people who it definitely did work for them. So.
If you consider, they probably all got told, you know, that the end of their life. So for half of them to then turn around and not die,
that's mad.
That is incredible.
Oh, someone's just done a super chat.
Oh, we've got a lot of comments now.
That's that Smiley.
Oh.
Thank you, Smiley, for your support. You're making me smiley. How are you, my friend? What have you been up to? Do you have a question for Uncle PK and Auntie Gemma?
Didn't know I was an aunt.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone is kind enough to super chat, you get to you go to the head of the queue. Yeah, that'll help pay for my YouTube mansion, which I've just bought with YouTube money.
Was it a matchbox?
Shut up. Anna's saying, thank you so much for helping me go vegan. I'm feeling so much better. I ate vegan all way before telling my parents, but it feels really good to know that I can talk about it. Yeah, so Anna was worrying about her parents and not letting her go vegan, but they're on board.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy, I think my body fat is 28, 30-ish. Yeah. And have you been on like low calories for a time? And by low, I think anything under about 1750 for most females. Like, would you say is sort of quite a low?
Definitely.
On my last cut, I got down to 3,200, and I was losing a kilo a week, which is a bit aggressive, really. Isn't that cool? So
yeah, like you can eat that many calories on a diet because you've got so much muscle. It just also so much depends on the person, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's something, Lucy. I would say try for more of a recomp. Like, if you can build a little muscle tissue, the more muscle you carry, and then you're not going to look like Arnie like overnight. But if you grow a bit of muscle tissue, you burn more calories even at rest. So yeah, really, for a long time now, resistance training has been the diet, the modern dieting. You know, it's worked so much better. Nina, hi. I asked before about to what extent we should be friendly or serious when spreading veganism. Is there more advice you could give me? What have you recently learned about effective activism? Just connecting with people, like trying not to make them put their barriers up.
can you be serious and friendly?
Yeah.
At the same time? It sounds like you're saying more like it has to be sort of one or the other.
Yeah.
I guess we can be serious about our message and what it, you know,
Yeah.
its importance in things.
I think it goes wrong when people are too like pushy with it and don't give compassion to the person.
Do you
and
think that
respect,
it can
like,
go that way when we think that it's our job to turn that person vegan on the
spot,
spot, as opposed to the attitude of thinking, I'll plant some seeds and then that person can, you know, take it from there in their own time. Like we think, oh, I must turn vegan right now, and then
it's very hard to convince someone to go vegan, and then for them to then stick at it. Like if people think it was their idea to go vegan, this is what these guys were saying on the set of the Game Changers movie when I was talking to them. They did a lot of testing of different things with people in terms of like advocacy, and for instance, for that film, they learned not to use words like peace, love, or compassion. They basically learned that obviously they're trying to reach the same sort of demographic as I do with my YouTube channel. I mean, I want to reach everyone, but specifically, I'm trying to show guys, you know, red-blooded males, whatever that means, that we don't need to eat meat to be fit and strong. So yeah, definitely connecting, not being in a rush, not trying to push people into it, not going too heavy, but being a living example, showing your story, which people can't argue with. You know, we can throw facts and facts and facts at people. I think that's where people go wrong, is trying to tell people too much information at once, and how, like, you know, we don't need to have heart disease, and oh yeah, don't forget, like, the planet's going to be destroyed in like 60 years if we don't soon change, and you know, the poor animals. Like, I think we try to bombard.
we can all get too serious as well because we've seen so much suffering, and it can really affect
I
us.
understand why people get like it.
Yeah, we're all susceptible to that, so we have to make sure we look after ourselves and not get too upset and affected by going to lots of vigils and all, you know, seeing all the things that we see. It can affect how we interact with people, how we treat them, because we see them as part of the problem that we've seen. You know, we think, oh, you're contributing to that, and it can really affect the way that we talk to people. And I think that people are really sensitive to what's behind so a very small percentage of communication is words. A lot of it is body language, and people can even like feel what you're feeling behind the words. So if, you know, you're sort of seeming like you're being quite nice, but actually what you've got an intention of like something, they're going to feel that. So connecting is important, and just do you see what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing, really. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll tell you who's really like shining lately is Earthling Ed, and people will really like be rude to him and aggressive and attack him, and he won't react to it. He'll just keep calm, and it's as though he stepped out of his ego and he's thinking of the greater good for the animals, and he's giving love, and he's saying to farmers, like, I'm not against you, I don't like, you know, what you do, but I'm not against you. I don't want you to not make a living. Like, we need to work together and to help farmers, you know, get onto you know, farming like vegan foods, and they can be quite aggressive and attacking, but still he doesn't react to it, and that's huge. And then eventually people listen, and I get it with trolls and things on my YouTube videos, and oftentimes like I can talk them round. You know, if you just don't give them aggression back. That's huge. So it's like, do you want to be right or do you want to be effective is a big thing that comes to my mind lately. But when we, like Gemma says, when we see the animals suffering, that makes it hard.
And we can forget that we were once them. Like, we can easily forget that we, most of us, you know, used to eat animals, and if we met a vegan and they said you should be vegan, we forget the sort of things that we would have said or thought, you know, to that person. So yeah, it's good to put ourselves in their shoes and just remember they're in a different place to us, and they don't see things and, you know, the world the way that we do.
Amelia, my mum is trying to lose weight but not losing any. She's been vegan for months, no booze or snacks, goes to the gym every day. She eats so well, nothing changes. Any ideas? Probably just in a slight caloric surplus. or maybe nutritionally something's missing. You know, get on the chronometer, make sure you're getting all the micronutrients. D3 is fat burning as well as muscle building. B12 is like energy production. You know, there's a few different things.
Thyroid, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, it can be like a sluggish thyroid or whatever as well. So, you know, if she's anywhere near 1750 calories and not dropping, yeah, consider like thyroid tests and things. And again, that's generally like a lack of nutrition.
So it's just worth
TBH.
First, if you think
IMO.
it could be anything to do with the thyroid, it's worth just adding in some seaweed every day and seeing if, because sometimes if we're lacking in iodine, that can affect.
Yeah, if we're not eating seaweed, probably we're lacking in iodine. Or there is a bit in some other foods, but probably depends where you get it from. A lot of soil is just depleted of iodine now.
If you don't like seaweed, just have some iodine drops in your smoothie or whatever.
Lugol's solution is good. It's iodine, iodide in the correct ratios for human assimilation. So loads of different brands of that. Mr. Sniggaloo. I too struggle big time with windy pots with legumes earlier on, finding your house move goes well. Oh yeah. Bust. Boop. Well said.
Oh, cowboy.
Oh, a cat's here.
Yeah. Cowboy's come to see
the
you.
best one of the three. Miss Minnie Lynn, it's an allergy. I get the allergic shock. I can't. Wow. Yeah, that is serious.
I've never heard of an allergy to legumes before, have you?
No, not other than soy and peanuts.
That is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, don't eat. Don't listen to what I said about introducing him slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhymy brings up a good point. Hench, give us a wave, my love.
What is that? Oh.
Hello. How are you, Rhymy? Good to have you back. Chrissy A's in sunny Florida. It's freezing here. I'm really jealous. Where do you get off? Rusty Richardson. Too much iodine is bad. Yeah, so 150 micrograms, the minimum RDA. You know, you can take several times that and like, you know, slowly up the dose and see if there's a benefit. Like Gemma says, be consistent now and don't do that quickly. More than about 10 times that, I think, is the upper tolerable limit. So, like anything really, like anything's going to be bad in a high enough dose. Red Zero Rad, how's the weather now? I've not seen you before, have you? Have I, my friend? Where are you from in the world? Yes, it's gone cold. Apparently next week, terrible cold and snow. And
Yuck.
We've got to go slightly further to get to the gym and places.
7 minutes further.
That'll seem like a lot in icy conditions.
Yeah.
Oh, we're miles back. 9 card T26, 3 cans a day, chicken in. Yeah, I'm still on the 3 cans as well. Charlie, hey, any tips for someone with a bad low back? I've only had disc, gone over, it still hurts, especially when standing, walking, etc. So try not to be too sitting down. That's one of the worst things we can do. Stretching, mobility, stretch your hip flexors, strengthen your transverse abdominis, strengthen your bum, stretch your low back muscles. Inversion therapy is really good. Whole foods vegan, you know, anti-inflammatory, like an alkaline diet and balance for omega-3 and 6, so you've not got too much of the pro-inflammatory omega-6, sorry. Omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. And yeah, watch your posture.
We're just going to put some chips on.
Oh! No, I don't mind. As long as I can have some of them.
Yeah, of course.
Sam Taylor. 1. Hi. I just watched your video about the #1 thing for health. Could do with some advice. I have ulcerative colitis for the last 8 years. I was raised vegetarian, didn't try meat till I was 19. So are you vegan now then, Sam? So you'll be pleased to hear one of my clients, until recently he was the Norwich City Football Club captain. He's just been, he's on loan to Rangers, I think, but he's also Scotland international soccer player, Russell Martin, cured his ulcerative colitis overnight after he went whole foods vegan. He was pescatarian for a time leading up to that. So basically, ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease that is caused by hydrogen sulfide, rotten egg gas. On average, a whole foods plant-based eater versus a omnivorous eater will have, is it 9 or 15? I think it's 15. An omnivorous eater will have 15 times the hydrogen sulfide produced in the colon relative to a whole foods plant-based eater. So that's huge. Not only does it cause inflammatory bowel disease, it damages the DNA of your colonic mucosal cells, can lead to cancer. Whereas breaking down whole plant foods, breaking the starch down with all good bacteria creates short chain fatty acids, which actually one of them, butyrate, I talked about earlier, it does one other thing. It reprograms the DNA of the colonic mucosal cells to make them more cancer proof. So eating whole plant foods protects you from colon cancer. Eating pretty much anything else, I mean particularly animal fats. Oh, there's a couple of vegan things that produce hydrogen sulfide, which is wine with sulfites, and then there's sulfur dioxide in dried fruit. So look for dried fruit with no additives. You're better off with the brown looking dried apricots versus the bright orange ones, although they don't look as appetizing. Yeah, you shouldn't have it for very long once you go whole foods vegan. I've heard that a lot being reversed. For Russ Martin, it was sort of overnight, and he'd had that for years and years and years. So let me know how you get on with that. I'm very interested. Freedom fighters in the house. Some okay, so you're carrying on what you were saying earlier. Right, where were we? As a vegetarian, I feel I missed that much. Occasionally moved back with my parents, 22. 24 diagnosed with ulcerative colitis after going back to vegan veggie for 2 years. Since diagnosis, find my wellness seems to be better on occasion when I eat meat, usually chicken. It shouldn't be. I would have thought it would be the opposite. I find if I only eat veg and fruit whole grains, this affects my gut and movement. Okay, so what I think is happening there is I think your colon is probably now set up to be Bacteroides dominant. So as I say, the good guys, the Prevotella strains, they eat resistant starch and soluble fibre from whole plant foods. And they create short chain fatty acids, which produces all the wonderful health effects, mentally, physically, epigenetic, rewires us to be just well. Whether we're going to be well or not really is pivotal on these gut bacteria. The good guys eat the whole foods. The bad guys, the Bacteroides, they eat meat, carnitine, choline from meat and eggs, trimethylamine. Where is that from? Dairy? Oh no, we produce trimethylamine from the breakdown of choline and carnitine. The bad bacteria do, the Bacteroides. We're either Prevotella or Bacteroides dominant, depending on what we eat. If we eat much more of the whole plant foods, we create these short chain fatty acids. The bad bacteria doesn't like an acid environment. So although we want our blood to be alkaline, we actually want the lumen of our colon, the inside of our colon walls, to be acidic. So, which is weird, isn't it? We think, well, we want to be alkaline, so why are we eating lemons and things which are more acid forming in the colon, and then meats going in, and different animal products are actually alkaline, but the long and short of it is they create acid once they cross the intestinal wall into the bloodstream, and vice versa. Things go in acid tend to make alkaline in the blood, but we want the colon to be an acid environment. So yeah, that is my diagnosis, Sam. I'm going to say you're Bacteroides dominant at present. When Bacteroides breaks food down, now they eat animal protein, fats, refined carbohydrate. They basically all the junky type things. They can't produce any helpful compounds. They can only produce toxins. So I think if you're dominant with those, like, you'll feel better in the colon for now because you've got them living in there. But you'll be producing putrescine, cadaverine, which leads to depression and anxiety. What is the other one? Cresol, which leads to depression, ultimately dementia, we now know. Trimethylamine is turned into trimethylamine oxide in the liver. That leads, we know, to diabetes, to heart disease. It's a kind of smoking gun. It's like red light warning. It looks like it like triggers cancer development. It's one of the closest things we've got to proving like the mechanism of how cancer is produced in the body. That's from choline, which is found in a lot of eggs, and carnitine in things like red meat. So basically, you've been feeding the naughty bacteria. They are dominant in your colon. And so if you feed fibre and things, there's not enough of the good guys to break that down in order to, you know, so it's called dysbiosis, basically. It's an overgrowth of the bad guys. So basically, over time, you want to slowly up your whole plant foods. You want to bring down the junk foods and the animal products. They do flourish fairly quickly. What you don't want to do is be adding in things like tap water with the chloride, which will kill your good bacteria. Alcohol kills bacteria. Even oils in coffee kills good bacteria. Potassium sulfate. There's something in most toothpastes, which is an antibacterial, which will kill your good bacteria. If you're not like washing, like rinsing your crockery well, if you've got washing up liquids on your crockery, that stuff kills bacteria. You just really want to be as clean and healthful as you can, and not clean. You want to try and avoid chemicals and things, basically. Take a little while, but it won't take forever over time. So those Bacteroides make toxins. The Prevotella strains, they make short-chain fatty acids. There's propionate, butyrate, acetate, and they're epigenetic. They make good stuff happen in terms of DNA reprogramming, which we thought wasn't even a thing. We thought that was set in stone. Anti-cancer stuff. It knits our colon wall tightly together, so pathogens and allergens. We don't set up allergies and autoimmune diseases. Propionate, like I think it's a 3-carbon short-chain fatty acid. It works like Lipitor to lower cholesterol. It also lowers triglycerides, like statins. Sorry, when I said Lipitor and other drugs. It works like metformin to lower our production of glucose by the liver. So it acts like the top, like diabetes, like drugs. So it's anti-cancer, anti-heart disease, anti-diabetes. It works the same as these expensive drugs, except the side effects are all positive. The side effects of those drugs are raised risk of cancer, muscle wastage for statins, like all negative. So at the minute it's a bit uncomfortable for you, but you need to change that round. Lower your animal products and processed crap, slowly up your whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, fruits, veggies. If you want a long, happy, healthy life, that gut is just pivotal. If that's wrong, everything can go wrong. If that's right, everything has the potential to go right. It's huge, it's key. It's the most fascinating area of nutrition science to me. Okay. Right, we're miles back. I'll try and start to catch up a little bit. Sam, my health was at its best for years when I was in Mexico. Really only ate typical Mexican food, wraps, chili, meat, cheese. Yeah, so if you're eating that stuff, you do... Whatever ills you do to your body, it's like your body gets used to it. and it copes, but it's not setting up long-term health. It just gets used to the ills you're doing at the time. So, you know, prepare for a little discomfort as you slowly change. If you do it slow enough, like it won't be too bad though, very quickly you can then get Prevotella dominant. If you forget all this stuff I've just talked about, I've got a video like the number, I don't know if you said about it just now or someone did, but it's about the gut microbiome. I think it's called the #1 thing to get right for your health or whatever. It's about 4 videos back, but give that a rewatch. It would really do you the world of good. Smiley, just here to show, just drop by to show some support. You are very, very kind. I really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Overripe Vegan. Hello, both. Been away from the YouTubes for a while. Watched a couple of vids whilst waiting for stream. Just wanted to say nice job. Looks more professional. Looking forward to catching up. Thank you, my friend. That's really kind of you to say. It means a lot. Race Lever's in the house. Smash the like button. Or I'm staying at your house for 2 weeks without showering. Thanks, Race Lever. Good to have you on board, my friend. J Rav. Well, I'd be lucky to get 1,500 calories in a day. Well, look after yourself. You're all good people and you deserve the best health. Amy, did you catch the Jim Witz podcast's vegan episode? I've not even heard of that. Is that good, Amy? Tell me more about that. Rusty's up for some green and herbivore caps to match his green eyes. We got a load of plant-based gains vests recently. Really lovely vests, organic gym vests, real nice shape. I wore one once and the print just started coming off. Tried it with a couple of others, same thing. So they're going to have all the vests back and sort that out. How much did we spend on those vests, Jem? You're not Jem, you're a cat playing with... I thought that was Gemma, but that's Rampy playing with all the cardboard stuff, this paper and stuff for packing this laying about. Stop pretending to be Gemma, will you? He's really cute. Ethan Jones, free vegan food festival. I'm in. Sign me up. Amy, I always thank the drivers who stopped for us at Vigils, wish them a good day. Got followed down the road and called vegans to come by a stranger the other day. I wished him a good day and hoped him well. Yeah, that's it. That's how we need to be. We've got to take our egos out of it. It's not so easy, especially for someone like me, like sort of given my past of like working the doors and things. But over time, you realise like anyone can like give it a big in or like be aggressive or like violent. And the hard thing is to step out of your ego and think of the greater good, think of the poor animals suffering and forgive people and just give out love, and you're much more likely to connect with them. If you give aggression back, you just bang in heads and it don't go anywhere. So it's good. Oh, this has jumped. Anna, honestly, ever since I started eating plant-based, I almost never get a pimple. Yeah, never expected my skin to clear up so much. Yeah, dairy's a real big culprit for bad skin. So it's one particular hormone that's in like a bovine hormone that's not in the human body, and it's also linked with prostate cancer, like a huge... I heard a statistic that 90% of acne is down to this particular bovine hormone. Amelia, thank you for answering my question. You're very welcome. Good luck with the move. Hope your cats are happy there too. Sure, they will be. It's massive, monstrous, big old place, and then there's loads of grounds and back onto a wood. So I mean, they can even go in there if they want to. It's at the end of like a cul-de-sac as well, so there's no like through traffic. Yeah. Corin Mac, hey Paul and Gemma, how are you both? Have you anything planned for the weekend? I've been quite busy recently, but it's great to have the time to probably watch your live streams. Thank you, my friend. Well, yes, we're moving into the new YouTuber mansion, which I bought with YouTube money. That's what I'm saying anyway. But yeah, I've got 4 days off from the gym now, and we're moving house. Moving house. We're gonna be living with a little enclave of real inspired vegans who are doing it, so be nice to be among our tribe. And we're going to have a YouTube studio in there, so we're up in the ante. We've got all new lights and backdrop and everything. It's gonna be quite spectacular. Charlie, how long for gut flora to change if you went from a bad to a whole food vegan diet? You know, how long's a piece of string? I don't know if anyone can really answer that, but you know, the quicker, you know, the more on it you are, like the quicker it will happen. But you probably don't want to do it overnight, because as our friend was saying, like, you do get that reaction. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to have to put a number on it. And it feels hard to me as a nutritionist and as a vegan. Like, I feel I want to say to everyone, no, you need to go completely whole foods, plant-based, like now. But I've seen people do that, and I've seen people very quickly say, no, like, my body can't handle it. And what they meant was, no, I've got the wrong gut bacteria to be able to handle it. And if I had to put a number on it, and, you know, I've got no real evidence, but I'm going to say 6 weeks, I would hope. I would hope that that would be long enough to just slowly switch. And then, you know, it would have worked. I wouldn't want to try to make someone do it much quicker than that, because I feel like they could fail. And then obviously, like, the longer you take, the more likely it is to work. But then the more animals that get killed, and the more toxins they're making, the less short chain fatty acids they're making. It's a tough one. I don't know the answer, and I don't think anyone else really knows the answer either, to be honest. Although this sort of science has been around for 12 years, it's such a fast-growing field of study, and we still don't really know the half of it. Beep. Gemma's annoying phone alarm. Sam, thank you for the advice. I'll check out Russ Mine, see if I can count wine or products. My girlfriend is vegan, so I'm mostly eating vegan, also sugar and white flour as well. So yeah, sugar definitely feeds bacteroides. White flour, it's got a bit of fibre in, isn't it? But then it's going to be missing some good stuff. Yeah, I would invite you to spend 6 weeks-ish. Less of that, more of that. And avoid things that kill Prevotella strains. Good for you, my friend. I'm really pleased. Let me know how you get on. I'm excited to hear how you do. Chip, is there any way of limiting the passing, I'm going to guess you're trying to say there, of gas if you eat a lot of legumes? Legumes. Legumes. So rinsing well. There is some supplement you can take which is meant to help, some sort of enzyme or something. But I would say, again, it's to do with the bacteria, like, just slowly up your intake. When I first went high legume, it wasn't nice. I wasn't having fun at all. But I quickly got used to it, and now I get very little gas. I feel like I get less gas now than I ever did as an omnivorous eater. But yeah, just don't rush it, really. Corinne, I've been meaning to ask for ages if you're aware of the autism and gut bacteria link. I recently discovered it. It seems to be promising and emphasised important on microbiome. So yeah, I have heard about that. I can't remember now when or where. Probably Nutrition Facts or somewhere like that. But yeah, I have heard about that. And yeah, it's huge. Like physical health, mental health. Something like 95% of our neurotransmitters, like our feel-good hormones, are built in the gut. And we say, well, they can't cross the blood-brain barrier. However, we know from rodent studies, not very vegan, but if you bring a rat up in a sterile environment with no gut microbiome, the rat will be anxious, and then if the scientists transplant fecal matter from a healthy rat into that rat, all of a sudden it'll be confident and adventurous, inquisitive. And there's that other thing, isn't there? If you transplant fecal matter from an obese person or an obese rat, the recipient typically becomes obese, because you've just got this colony of bacteria that can really rinse every last little calorie out of things, and therefore you get more calories from the same food. So is that something where people are saying they're eating like low calories and they're not losing weight? Maybe they've just harbored these bad bacteria from eating junk foods for so long. Is that a thing? Sam, hello there. I am Sam's girlfriend. Oh, hi. I saw your cat, was wondering, do you feed cat vegan food, and what's your opinion about vegan food for animals? So, yeah, it's a very tough one. And whatever you do, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, and you sort of feel horrible when you're forced to think about it. But, so, yeah, we feed them vegan processed, like vegan food. If you're gonna go with the vegan foods, it must be a complete food. It must be pH balance. Obviously, they need to be slightly more acidic than alkaline. They need to have taurine added back in. When cats eat standard like pet food, because it's heated, the taurine is destroyed by heat, so they have to add the you know, again, it's a processed food. As long as the cat doesn't produce crystals in the urine, like, they're fine to do it. And like, you know, this took us months. It was a lot of heartache trying to decide what to do. And it was kind of, we know and love these animals. They're our friends. Like, we don't want to hurt them. And then if they do become unwell, like, we'll know that it's our fault. But then if we keep paying for pieces of other dead animals, then, so it's like, it's for my own happiness that I'll pay for hundreds of animals to die, you know, to not risk this animal that I know and love personally coming to harm, you know. But as a nutritionist, I'm always banging on about species-specific diet, whole foods. So, you know, that is very hypocritical of me to feed that to the cats that hang out with us. So, yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it? That's a real hard one. You know, we did a lot of research. It seems that most cats can do very well on a vegan diet. They are obligate carnivores, so, you know, it's a bit naughty, really. Going forward, we would never have another omnivorous animal companion. And yeah, you can't win, can you? You can't win. It does tickle me when omnivores say, "Are you vegan?" Do you always point to your teeth and you say, like, you haven't got fangs, so you can't eat meat, but like, your cat's got fangs, so what are you doing? And my argument is, oh, you seem to care about animals a lot. You're probably vegan then. Anyway, thanks for commenting, Sam's GF. Nice to meet you. Corin, if anyone interested, there's leading autism research bodies that are in the process of a huge study on the topic. It should be out in the next few years. A good search is autism speaks gut bacteria. Very interesting. Yasmin, hi lovely. Would you say 2,000 calories is okay for 55 kilo female? I was on my feet at work and home, train 5 times a week. I was consuming as little as 1,000. 15 on average before trying to build up. You know, without doing like calculations and things, it's hard to say. What I will say is, like, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Like, depending on what you're trying to achieve, weigh yourself once a week, AM, after the loo, before you eat and drink, and then you titrate your calories based on, you know, what the feedback is. That's the sort of long and short of it, really. If you're trying to build up, You know, for an average woman, whatever that means, like that should be about maintenance. But yeah, there is like the Harris-Benedict equation. If you look up BMR, basal metabolic rate calculator, on the internet, you typically that will come up, and the Harris-Benedict multiplier with it, and you punch in your age, your height, your weight, your sex, and it tells you like how many calories it thinks roughly you may need at rest, you know, if you were having bed rest. It doesn't take into account your lean tissue, so I mean it's not amazing, but it's a pretty decent ballpark figure, and it's the one I work off of mostly. I sometimes overrule it if I think it's miles out with my clients, but yeah, it's really like very far out. Then you add on the Harris-Benedict equation multiplier. So for you, that sounds like you're moderately active, which is a multiplier of 1.55. And then, yeah, if you want to be filling out a little bit, it's just been in that slight surplus. I don't know, 125 calories, quarter of a pound a week. That should see you growing some lean tissue. If anyone's interested, I do offer online coaching. So Skype, telephone, consultations, bespoke meal and or workout plans. Get at me, dog. And I think my thing over an average, someone who's just a PT, like they just look at macronutrients typically, but they don't really think about micros, and that's really what we should be, if anything, concentrating more on, because we need to get those all in. So there you go. Sam Taylor, yes, I watched your video about cutting micros, which is what prompted me to speak to you. I thought that was. Yeah, you're very welcome, my friend. Thanks for joining the stream. Bergstrom Oliver brings up an important comment. Sweden, something which I all think we should consider much more in life. Race Lever's helping me out. Chip, did you go vegan for health or ethics? Health, you know, I read the China study. I saw that the more animal products we eat, the quicker we're going to get the diseases of affluence, particularly cancer, heart disease. And I always say to people, like, I've not met anyone yet who eats more animal products than I used to eat. And it was nothing but a boost to my sports performance, doubled the stress of my eyesight, cured my chronic arthritis, which I used to get from training, cured my hay fever. It helps, like, workouts. It's alkalizing, it's anti-inflammatory, so you recover quicker, you're in less pain, more energized, more nutrient dense, so you know, you get sick less often, so you miss less training days. And the healthful foods, the leafy greens, the beets, are vasodilators, so improved oxygen and nutrient delivery to working muscles, improved waste product elimination from your working muscles, and then, you know, the types of fats found in animal products, and incidentally the oils as well from, you know, the whole plant foods, but they're just the oil extracted, so now it's processed. They all cause vasoconstriction, which ruins your workout. So that's another reason to go oil free, apart from the, you know, real health, other health negatives. Okay, what have we got? 54 people in the room. This is a good stream. Thank you, guys. Please thumb up the stream if you can be bothered. It really helps us no end, helps us grow the channel and reach more people. We would really appreciate it. Blake Towers, hey, just a randomer jumping in from the UK. Hello, my friend. We are also in the UK, you can probably tell. Question I've always wanted to know is it possible to lead a vegan lifestyle on a budget? Not only is it possible, it can be the cheapest diet in the world. And not only that, the cheapest way of eating the vegan diet is also the healthiest diet in the world. So it's amazing. We're just eating what the animals eat, basically. So grains, legumes, you know, some veg. So You know, in terms of grains, a big sack of brown rice you can buy for next to nothing. That's your starch. It's got a decent bit of protein. Lentils, like dried beans, chickpeas, big huge sack, costs you next to nothing. Very dense in protein. A lot of the micronutrients that you get from kind of meats and other animal products as well. Good amount of starch also. Some of your fruits, like bananas, are dirt cheap, aren't they? Like they're very, very high in calories. Dried dates and things you can buy for next to nothing. Really energy dense, like 75 carbs or so per 100 grams. So it's virtually pure like energy, and it's got a lot of minerals in there. In terms of your vegetables, like frozen greens, frozen spinach and stuff, costs next to nothing. It's the most healthful vegetables, like your greens, particularly your crucifers, like kale, broccoli, cauliflower, that sort of thing. And again, like you can get it frozen cheaper, and generally it may be more nutrient dense because it is frozen, there's fresh frozen. You know, you might buy it fresh, but it may have been sitting on the shelf for however long it had to travel before that point. So it's going to be kind of like getting lower in nutrients. Fruit, extremely health promoting. Berries, the most antioxidant rich of all the fruits. Buy them frozen. You can get a kilo for £3 for a whole kilo in Tesco, perfectly imperfect. It is the cheapest diet on the planet. It is the healthiest diet on the planet. You're not getting sat, fat, cholesterol, trans fats, natural artificial hormones, antibiotics. You're not creating as many advanced glycation end products, acrylamides if you're not cooking with oil. You know, you're eating down the food chain, so environmental toxins, like they accumulate, like plants get a bit of the toxins, small animals eat those, plants their whole lives, so the toxins are stored in the fat. Bigger animals eat those smaller animals, bigger animals still eat those medium animals for their whole lives. So by the time you're up the food chain, you can get such high amounts of like mercury, aluminium, PCBs, just, you know, industrial waste, like runoff from fields, like talking into like seafood now. It's many times. And then when we slaughter animals, like the offcuts of slaughtered animals, we often feed back to the farmed animals. So you get cannibalistic feed, biomagnification of all these negatives. It's a ticking time bomb, you know. And again, back to the gut microbiome. So what we really don't want is antibiotics. We have antibiotics, anti-life. We're killing those good bacteria again. It's one of the worst things we can do. Where do most antibiotics go? Probably 80% of the antibiotics in the Western world are fed to farmed animals. So, yeah. Healthiest diet by far. Cheapest diet by far. Happy, healthy. You feel amazing. I can't big it up enough. Amy Robson. My food shopping is about £20 per week. Wow. I think we need you to do our shopping, Amy. Jem?
Yeah?
Where are you?
I'm just doing things.
She's doing things. Oh.
You want me?
Is it 7:20?
No way.
Why is my phone... Oh, not 7:20, 8:20. How did that happen?
I don't know.
I'm having fun tonight. And we've got 58 people watching and 50 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. All right, let's try and catch up quickly. Peter Thompson's in the house. Charlie, hey, thanks. 6 weeks is a good number. I went whole foods vegan 3 weeks ago. Feel good, but something isn't quite right. Yeah, it does take a little while. Joey, exclamation mark. Hello, my friend. Have you found any healthy cereal brands here in the UK? Yeah, there's one called, I think, Alara. I think it's Alara, A-L-A-R-A. Yeah, there's a few. If you go in a health food store, like there's some with not like any sugar and stuff added. By and large, I'll go with oats. So you probably make your own granola. I bet there's recipes if you care to sort of search for them. But yeah, we don't often have a lot of that, so I've not got much experience to draw on that one, I'm afraid. Sam's girlfriend reacted to your opinion about cat food. Do your cats go outside if they catch biosmos themselves, or they get their meat anyway? Nice to meet you too, by the way. My name is Joanna. That is a really cool name. Ah, thank you. Yeah, a couple of them do. One of them does hurt the wildlife, which doesn't feel very nice to us. But yeah, so I guess there's supplement in their diet. I do agree it's hard to decide what's the best for our pets. I mean, if vegan food seems to work for cats, I guess it's fine, and not on meat pet food. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, like, we shouldn't be feeding anything out of tins or boxes, should we, if we're going with species specific? Like, how many cats, domestic cats, would bring down a cow, for instance, or be able to catch a salmon? So I remember years ago, I was always into health and nutrition. I was misguided in those days. I didn't know any better. I thought we had to eat animal products, and I was into sort of healthy eating, and so we did buy, I think it was pigeon, like raw pigeon meat for our cats, which I do feel terrible about now. Race forever rat-faced. Hi guys. Oh no, nice love heart. I am trying to achieve the level of fitness bikini models and using resistant bands to the world. Can I achieve the same as what I would with weights? I've not known anyone to do it. I think it's harder to kind of tell. I think it's harder to progressively overload and really be scientific about numbers and be able to program and know if you're progressing or not. My sort of gut feeling is like you ought to be able to, especially if you've got a range of bands, and you can be quite, you need to keep enough variables the same, so it's like where the bands are attached, how far away you're standing, like the different angles and etc. So my feeling is like you probably should be able to if you really like concentrated, but I think it'd be a lot of work, and I don't know anyone who's done it, so I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it maybe. But obviously you don't need to be hugely muscular, so I don't want to say you can't do it, but I would say weights is probably a more efficient way of doing it. But then I've never tried it, so who am I to even give an opinion in a way? Thanks for your question, Matty. Boo, I'm so late this week, guys. How are you tonight? Really well. I'm having a lovely time. I meant to finish 22 minutes ago, but I just didn't realise the time, and we're just flying. What am I reading? Sick on a stream with Paul. Aww, bless you. How many people who work the doors would go vegan? Yeah, good question. Don't know. One of my friends, one of the naughtiest, he's changed his ways now. He was a very naughty doorman in London, and I think he's come to Norwich to escape his old life and change. He's actually a Buddhist, but he's probably strangled more people unconscious than I've had hot dinners, but he was always vegan. He never really spoke about it, and I didn't know, but yeah, strangled more humans unconscious than I've had hot dinners, but wouldn't harm a fly. So go figure. If people know me from my past, like they would never believe, how I am now, and probably vice versa. So, if I can change, anyone can change, definitely. Yasmin, no. Oscar Nowak says, 0. He is Polski. Scroggins Peace. Hello, my friend. Oh, no, I missed Barrowman the Fool. Wait, I've got a live stream. Have you done some research online? So I've not had time. I've been so blinking busy. I was researching chaga because I did a video today. I'm calling it Ultimate Pre-Workout Muscle Building Smoothie. So I was talking about the benefits of chaga. 50 times the superoxide dismutase of any other medicinal mushroom. Superoxide dismutase is a very powerful enzyme antioxidant. It apparently can extinguish 1 million free radicals per second. How cool is that? But no, I've not looked into any of the other ones, but I have heard about lion's mane and is it called cordyceps or something? That's another one I want to look into. But yeah, once the chaga is done and dusted, I'll definitely go into another one. Now, what are the benefits, Barrowman? Can you regale me? Scruggs Peace. Hey Paul, my question has to do with digestion. I've been vegan 5 years. Just this week or so, having very severe stomach pains. Hopefully just a stomach bug. I'm nervous it's more serious. You know, so if you're putting in whole plant foods and not processed plant foods and animal products, it shouldn't be anything serious. Like that's really health preventative, so I wouldn't worry. But yeah, like we're all, you know, we can all get a terrible bug and whatever, which is sad. But yeah, I wouldn't really know anything else that could be. Have you eaten anything sort of different lately? Jesse Hitman. Gemma is getting stuff ready. Oh, I think she might be making some food right now, but we're getting ready to move tomorrow to our YouTuber mansion. So that's exciting. John Thor, have you researched Flat Earth yet? I watched a couple of videos on it a long time ago, just to see what people were saying. Karen's in the house. Connor, thanks for everything you do. What books would you recommend to learn more about vegan nutrition, and have you ever thought of writing one? You know, my information is just stuff I've learned from all the other kind of plant-based doctors and researchers. I'm not a research scientist. Like I've not really got anything new to bring to the table. So I don't know. I don't feel as though really qualified to, you know, I've not got anything new to say, but we keep toying with the idea of bringing out a recipe video or book, and then kind of tying that into whole foods nutrition, like, you know, just facts about the different nutrients and what they do. So, but it's just time. I'm so busy with everything else, and writing's not my forte, or like photography. I'd probably get someone else on board to help with that, but at some point I want to, because it's good to have, you know, be a passive revenue stream. So yeah, maybe we will do that. But thank you for your kind words. And in terms of books, How Not to Die, Proteinaholic, Whole, Program for Preventing and Reversing Diabetes by Neil Barnard. Yeah. What other books are good?
I assume you've said How Not
There's
to Die.
on Caldwell Esselstyn's like heart disease work. Yeah. China Study, of course.
How Not to Die cookbook.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Are we nearly there?
Do you want to show you
No,
a snack about
we're a
spilling
bit-
everywhere?
Okay, I think I better sign off there, because we're not going to catch up, and I really need to eat some food. I need to calm myself down because I need to go to sleep. on time. We try to be asleep by 10 p.m. and then tomorrow we're doing our, of course, we're moving house. So just show you our dinner in case you're interested. Boom. What a vegan nutritionist slash athlete eats in a day. So we've got some baked sweet potato fries, nice salad. Got some kimchi, like a spicy kimchi, which I'd never had kimchi before. That's particularly tasty, isn't it?
Really nice.
And some bean dip. What's in the dips? Turmeric?
Turmeric, mustard, tahini, garlic, onion powder, salt, pepper.
I love onion powder. That is such a good ingredient. Yeah. I better get that down my gullet. Guys, thank you so much for joining us again. You are beautiful, beautiful people. Thanks for the super chat, Smiley, bless you. And if you're new here, we'd love to have you become part of the Hench Herbivore community. So hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified of new videos, new live streams. I'll try and get a video up over the weekend, probably my muscle building smoothie. That's if I can do it in time before Gemma's up and then we have to start moving things around and whatnot. But expect a couple of videos and then next Friday, 7 p.m. as usual, live stream from the YouTuber mansion. Woo!
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Nice. All right, guys. Thanks again. See you soon. Have a lovely evening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, muchachos. You're good people.